Hi, today I'm going to show you how to create a first venue for the game Gladiator Score-It. First, we need to create a new document. You can find the folder with the yellow splash on it. If you click this, you're presented with a venue map for the world. It's a region map, and you'll notice that the blue boxes are highlighted and they're scattered all over the place. Just go ahead and select any of those boxes. These boxes are locations that you can build a venue on. So we can start by selecting this one here. Now on the right side of the screen, I need to select the type of venue, and I'm going to choose the Gladiator style venue, and below it it's the type. It's the game type, because Gladiators has 3 different game types available right now. There's a get it, keep it, and score it. We're going to build a score it venue, so select score it. The game time duration, this is fine. This is a good default. And we should give our venue a title. There we go. And OK to accept. Okay, now we're presented with the actual plot of land that we chose in that map. I'm going to zoom in to make it easier for placement. So to zoom in, just place your mouse in this viewport, click in it, and use your wheel mouse. Roll forward allows you to zoom in, and rolling back will zoom out. So let's begin by placing the required elements that we need for the Gladiator Score-It venue. We do need a gem launcher. We will need a start marker. Those are the 2 required components. So we'll begin with placing a gem launcher. You'll find the gem launcher in the component categories, and under Gladiator components you'll find there's a gem launcher. So I'll left click and just drag that right into the viewport. Okay, now that I have that in there, I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and I want to place the other components. I will need a start marker. I choose start marker here, and I have 2 types. I think I'm going to bring in a ring marker. Again, I'll just left click and drag that into my scene. I just want to put them in right now. I'll place them once I get the necessary components in. There is one more component, and I forgot to mention that. That's the scoring component. So we do need to go back to the Gladiator components, and you'll find there's a score zone. So let's just click here and drag the score zone into the venue. Now I have the necessary components for the game. I will bring in one more component. I think it's good to have a repair station. Because the Gladiator games have a weapon on the vehicle, you can inflict damage on vehicles. When your shield runs out, you'll get reset, and you are limited in the amount of weapons that you can use, like mortars, for example. You start with 5, and when you're done, you need to replenish them, and the only way to really do that is to place a repair station in the scene. So let's go ahead and bring a repair station and just drop that in the scene. Okay, now I have everything. So let's zoom in a bit and make some adjustments. Again, I'll just wheel mouse in my scene, or I can select what I'm interested in editing first, and I can zoom right to it by clicking the Fit View to Selected. This places my camera right to that object and centers it for me. Now, by pressing the Alt key and left mouse button, and when I move my mouse, now you can see that I'm rotating the camera around that object. This one's taking up a lot of space, and I just want to make it a very simple. So if I navigate down to the parameters section, this parameter is for the highlighted component in the scene. So right now, this gem launcher is set to large. I think I'm going to set it to small. When I click that, you can see that now I have a small version of that launcher. I need to zoom in because it's pretty far. It's small on the screen. So I'll just go over to this Fit View Selected again, and this is going to bring my camera right to the object. It's very quick and easy to be able to make some adjustments when it's so easy to see. I'll move my camera back, and you'll notice it's floating above the ground. I'll need to drop that down. if you notice these directional arrows, this is called the manipulator handle. These cones show the direction that the object can be moved. So if I select this cone here, the object can move along that axis, so it can move up and down. And if I select these, it'll move along that direction and so on. For now, I just want to drop it into the terrain, so I'll just grab this direction and sink it in. Okay, that's set. Now I want to zoom out, maybe move my camera a little bit. That's Alt and left mouse click into the viewport. And I want to bring this start marker, and I want to place it right around this gem launcher. It can be anywhere you want it to be. I just happen to like it there. Another thing you can do to move your camera around is if you hold the Alt key down and you right click, this allows you to pan the camera. This is nice if you like the zoom level that you're at, but you just want to, you want to move something a little bit more into the screen or into view. There, now I can rotate, and I want to move this closer to that gem launcher. So I'll just drag that like this, right mouse click and Alt, place this in the center, and then I will continue to position this where I want it. And that looks pretty good. So let's zoom to it and make sure it's not floating too high or sinking in the terrain. That looks perfect. Let me zoom out and let me position a score zone. I'll keep it close so we can just test this and make sure it all works. And I'll zoom to it and place it into the terrain. Okay, the next one will be the repair station. Again, I'll just rotate my camera and position it, and I will move this here, zoom to it, and Alt left mouse click and rotate. Now maybe I want to rotate this so it's at a different angle. If I select the spheres along that same color, that allows me to rotate around that pole. So I select this sphere, the blue one, and now when I move, it rotates around that axis. There we go. So I'll just rotate that like this, and let me move my camera around and let me drop it into the terrain. It's a little bit too much, and something like this. Okay, that's good. Now I can zoom back out. I have all the pieces I need here to make a valid Score-It venue. To double check that, to the top here you'll see a check mark. That check mark allows you to validate your venue, to make sure that you have all the proper or necessary components. By clicking this, a dialog will pop up. If you don't have the proper venue components, it'll tell you which ones are missing. You can then go grab them and put them in, and then you can test again. And at this point, I can press the test key. It looks like an actual key icon. By clicking that, it'll start me in one of these vehicle positions. At that point, I can test the game out. So why don't we test our venue now? This is the venue we just created. If I turn around, I should see there's the repair station, there's the gem launcher, and a score zone. And I see some gems out in the distance. So it all looks good. Okay, so we tested the venue. So at this point, I can make whatever the adjustments that are necessary or I'd like to make aesthetically. But that's really it. That's making your very first Score-It venue. Thanks for watching.